And welcome back to the morning show. Today we are turning our attention to the backbone of our economy, which is small businesses. Despite the crucial role that small businesses in South Africa face a high failure rate. Now, to help us understand the challenges and share tips on how to navigate market access, we are joined by Anton Ressel, who is a strategic head of SME Support at Fetola. Mr. Anton, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Welcome to the morning show.
Morning, Vuyo. Thanks very much for having me on the show.
You are welcome. Now, could you start by giving us an overview of the main challenges that small businesses face in South Africa?
Sure. I think given the fact that we all voted yesterday, it's probably quite a pertinent conversation, but the primary challenge is the fact that our economy isn't growing, and certainly not growing at the rate that it needs to support the small business sector and the entrepreneurs that are coming up. Our barriers to entry are very high, so being successful in business in South Africa is a journey. It's a long slog. I think access to new and larger markets is challenging for a lot of smaller entrants and smaller players who don't have the economies of scale to be competitive. And then I guess the fourth one would be around access to finance and having access to the capital one needs to grow when one needs it. That is a very big challenge for most entrepreneurs and small businesses.
Most definitely. Now, what are some of the most common mistakes that small businesses make when trying to expand their customer base?
I think the biggest mistake is probably that they don't take the time to really understand what their customer needs. Our customers need different things from us depending on their business model. If you're going to supply another business who's going to then supply the end user, it's a very different model from supplying the end user yourself. So the first common mistake would be, not enough time on who is my target market and what are their core needs. The second one, I think, is that businesses don't really focus on getting market ready. And this is something that we really do impress upon entrepreneurs who come into one of our programs at Fetola. It's not so much market access is an outcome of market readiness. So you're not suddenly just going to start getting big customers. You've got to make sure that you're ready. And when those opportunities arise, you present yourself in the very best possible light.
Absolutely.
And I find that a lot of smaller businesses try and run before they can walk. So they will approach the likes of Woolworths or Pick n Pay, the big guys. They'll go knock on the door, SA breweries, for example. And they're not really in a position yet to supply effectively and profitably organizations of that nature. So my advice there would be really focus on becoming ready, understand the needs of your customer, understand the needs of the market, and make sure that you tick all those boxes and build a solid foundation so that when the opportunity arises, you can grab it with both hands.
Absolutely. Now, how can these small businesses leverage your digital tools and also technology to enhance their operations?
Well, I think we all know that we live in a digital age. Access is essentially being democratized by the advent of digital marketing, social media. A small business based in Athlone or Mitchell's Plain can literally promote their services around the world, and that's an amazing thing. Social media really has opened up the world, so when done effectively and correctly, it can really be powerful. But that's the key, though. It's got to be done effectively. I always recommend to entrepreneurs, if you're going to focus on digital marketing and social media and use some of those tools at our disposal, if you're not going to do it properly, rather wait and don't do it at all, because doing social media and digital marketing poorly is actually worse than not doing it at all, in the sense it reflects on your brand. One of the entrepreneurs in one of our recent programs, Masodi Organics, she's a master at using social media to sort of position her brand and create a real perception of success. So if anyone wants to have a look at Masodi Organics, there's a great example there of how to do it properly. And then I guess there's also a range of efficiency tools that we never had access to in the past. So things like CRM and stock management systems, costing and pricing tools, all at the click of a button, as well as the opportunity to outsource work quite quickly and cheaply, which has really been a game changer. I could potentially work with a group of web developers based in Poland who can do work for me remotely, and I never need to meet them. And that's quite an amazing thing when it comes to scale.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of outsourcing, take us through the importance of entrepreneurial networks and how they can benefit small business owners.
Well, I would urge any small business owners watching to, if they haven't already, to join our network at Fetola. We've got about 150,000 small businesses on our network, and we put out a lot of opportunities through those channels, particularly on our Facebook and LinkedIn profiles. So things like upcoming webinars, access to tools and resources. So there's one way that I would recommend people leverage a network. I think local chambers of commerce can be quite powerful and useful for small businesses wanting to crack the market and network and meet other people. Industry networks, all of us have particular industries that we operate in, and those are often quite powerful in terms of access to resources, access to information, how to fill in tenders, those kind of things. And the government tender database is also another one worth checking out. And then finally, from a networking perspective, I would also urge entrepreneurs to think a little bit outside our borders. It's a big world out there. Africa presents a lot of fantastic business opportunities for small businesses. We're looking at a program quite soon that's going to be working across Africa with the African Development Bank potentially. So we're hoping, and it's quite exciting. There's a lot of opportunity out there if one broadens one's lens a little bit.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Anton, we are running out of time, but this conversation, I would have loved for it to go longer, but time is not on our side. Well, thank you so much for those insightful insight right there for our small businesses, and I hope that they got a little hint here and there, on, especially like you said earlier on, that they shouldn't actually go and approach the big businesses. Instead, they should start looking within their surroundings and also and listen and also ask for advice as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Anton, for sharing these invaluable insights with us today, navigating market access and also growing a customer base that are indeed challenging. But with that right strategies and support, small businesses that they can thrive. For our viewers, if you're a small business owner looking to expand your horizon, be sure to register for Fetola's Navigating Market Access for all small businesses webinar on May 8th. So stay tuned to the morning show for still so much more to come right after this. Mr.